dust is in my eyes, my blood is on the ground. Quiet little chuckle and the shuffling of the boots of the coward that shot me down. He turns toward the sunrise and I hear him softly say, I guess you've met your macho man as the colors fade to gray.
Howdy, partners. Dust and Blood is a rabble-rousing, rootin'-tootin', bronco-bustin' podcast not suitable for the ears of young'uns. Take a gander at the content warnings and listen with care.
Welcome to Dust and Blood, a narrative play podcast set in the wild, weird fantasy West. I'm Blake, your GM, and our players are Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Zach Parker as Maz Copernicus Pryor, and Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Last time on Dust and Blood, our heroes dug into Bonesaw's past via Asherel, and had several encounters while searching for the wayward cart, an Irenaeus, a bounty hunter, and a friendly dragon who restored some of Jasper's precious memories. Alright, we're gonna dive right back in where we left off, with Goiter full-on stuck to the stagecoach mimic.
No.
If everybody could go ahead and roll me some initiative.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Let's get it.
I'm ahead of the cart, and that's all that matters. Oh, does Goiter need to be in the initiative?
Goiter is going to act on your turn.
Okay.
The mimic is going to move right there. And wait. The big saguaro cactus, two of its arms swing down and whoop, it stands up on the two legs and is bup as a mimic.
Oh no.
It is on point, literally.
Oh, Dance of the Sugar Plum Cactus.
This first mimic, you see all of the spokes of its wheel go downwards, and it walks along all of the wheel spokes like little tiny feet.
That's creepy.
Kill it. Kill it with fire.
What's Goiter's AC?
AC of 16 with the grappled multiplier applied.
Okay. The wheel mimic lashes out with its tongue and slams into him.
No.
He's going to take 10 points of damage.
Oh no!
Maz, you're up.
Okay. As an action, I'm going to go into Bardic Performance, the one that grants fire resistance. Fire break, there we go. We are, I guess, gonna move up. Just gonna try and get Goiter in that radius. And Goiter is just barely outside of range. Okay, that's fine.
Goiter!
All right. Myra, you're up.
Myra is going to use something called Deadshot, where it's a full round action, and basically I shoot once, but all of the damage goes into one shot, as if I do as many attacks as I possibly can. I'm going to aim at the cart that is holding Goiter.
Okay. That is going to be a total of 23 points of damage against the mimic holding Goiter.
Nice.
You line up this shot, Myra. You see where it's like licking along Goiter's skin, and you just and take off a portion of this mimic's forked tongue.
You let him go, you creepy little thing.
The bullet lodges in some of the what you thought was wood, but now you can tell is mimic flesh.
Ooh.
Jasper, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna move up so that I can get my point blank bonus. I'm gonna fire at that mimic that's a hold-in Goiter, and I am going to use 2-weapon fighting.
So you can only use 2-weapon fighting on full round attacks.
Oh, so the movement would have destroyed that then?
Yes.
Okay, this will just be a regular old shot then.
At the stagecoach mimic.
Yes. Blammo! 15 on the first attack.
How close are you to it? I thought the revolver was 20 feet range.
Critical range is 20 feet, you're right.
Okay, so you're going to take a -2 for firing outside of the range.
Okie dokie.
It, unfortunately, is going to miss. The bullet strikes the ground just slightly outside of its range
Oh, shoot.
and bounces up. Okay, Bonesaw, you're up.
Bonesaw stands stunned for a moment as everyone else leaps into action and then very quickly grabs a vial and says, "Goiter, hold on, Daddy's coming!" And he drinks his extract of fly, which I suppose is a standard action, but then he can move 60 feet with fly.
Correct.
Okay, and I will fly right up next to Goiter and tell him, "Go on, absorb into me!" Put a hand down so Goiter can... It's a standard action for Goiter to reabsorb with me.
Okay. Goiter is... It's not gonna be... I don't know what it's doing! Ah! And it's just gonna reach out with 2 hands, clump onto your hand. And as he does, he's going to shift. Unfortunately, it draws you down. Goiter is now attached to you and out of harm's way. However, you are now
You're in harm's way.
grappled by the mimic and adhered to it.
Oh, interesting. New problem, but better problem. This is progress. I call this progress.
I'm going to remove Goiter from the battlefield, assuming that he is attached to you.
Okay, he'll fast heal 5 each round while attached to me. So within 2 rounds, he'll be back to full.
Okay, if you want to bring him out, you can, but for now, he's attached to you. It is now the 4th wheel's turn. This one, instead of doing that, is going to use some of its spokes to push itself up onto the wheelbase and start spinning and just rolling towards you. And as it does, its tongue is going to lash out at you, Bonesaw, because you're the only one in range right now.
Gross.
What's your AC?
14.
Oh my dude. Dude, why did you do this to yourself?
I had to rescue Goiter.
Take 12 points of damage, and you now have a second mimic stuck to you.
You're just gonna be a mimic magnet. Aww. You're in a very sticky situation, Bones.
Very sticky. All right, this mimic is going to move. Spend his whole turn. Get down here. He is moving out of your area if you want to take an attack of opportunity.
Zombie claws, because I don't have anything drawn.
Okay. This one, unlike the previous ones, is instead of going all the way up, you know how when you spin a quarter or spin a tire or something, and it gets almost done and it's doing that like wobbly thing on the ground?
Yes.
That's how this one moves. It like gets up and is like woom, 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 woom.
That is very cool. I only rolled a 10 to attack.
That is going to miss.
Drat.
Then it is that mimic's turn. It is also going to move over here. This one, it stays completely whole and it just kind of goes up about an inch, and thousands of little cilia come out of the bottom of it and just and it scutters across the ground that way.
Gross.
And now it is the stagecoach mimic's turn. You are attached to it. More of its body starts to break away from the wood, and it starts to wrap around you, and it starts to constrict on you.
This is fine. This is fine. At least Goiter's safe.
Take 23 points of damage.
Oh, shit.
Ow!
Not for long.
Hang on, Bones.
Ouch!
What is your CMB right now?
My CMB is 9 because I'm grappled.
Okay, yeah. That brings us to the top of the round. The cactus mimic, still walking on those 2 spindly legs, is going to move. You know what? It is going to run. It's going to get right there.
No.
It's
It just
terrifying.
tromps forward and comes up. It actually steps on one of the skeletons and just shatters it into dust as it charges towards Jasper and Moz. Then it is this mimic's turn. You know, it sees that it's not going to get a good meal if it tries to keep going after Bonesaw, and it is going to charge up to Jasper.
Well, that's not nice.
Moz, you're up.
Right. Everyone's turning into Chow right now. You might feel a light breeze. We are going to throw a fireball. Yay!
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, that is a lot of damage.
27 damage.
We're just gonna put that right there. Let's try and get Jasper out of there.
Bonesaw!
Bonesaw's in there.
Bonesaw, you're
A light breeze, you say?
Okay, DC 17 reflex save. These guys are taking a -2. Failure for the stagecoach mimic.
So did Bonesaw.
Yeah, with a 16.
Failure for the cactus mimic. Failure for the first wheel mimic. Success for the second wheel mimic. Success for the third wheel mimic. Failure for the fourth wheel mimic. Okay. Both of the larger mimics just start screeching in this absolutely horrific sounding voice. The smaller wheels make noises similar to creaking wood that has been lit on fire.
Bonesaw, you only take 7 points of fire damage.
Oh, thank God, because I'm looking
Yeah.
at my, fewer hit points than how much damage you just did. And,
Yes, no. As I took precautions, alright, I was anticipating toasting goiter, but appeared to have caught a slightly larger fish in my net.
Oh, that was a bit toasty, but I'm glad you got the rest of them.
Yeah. And they're all still standing?
Everybody is still standing, but the stagecoach mimic actually has a little bit of flame coming off of it. And the two wheel mimics that failed are looking a little bit more rough. Like, they definitely look like that did a fuck ton of damage to them.
Nice. Good to see.
Yeah, that was a massive just... And there's a new magical damage here to this area. Myra, you're up.
Okay, so I have a move that is called Startling Shot, and if successful, I can make a enemy become flat-footed. Would I be able to shoot Wheel Mimic number 4 to kind of distract it and get it to let go of Bonesaw?
Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay.
And then make an intimidate check for me.
Ooh, okay. She loads her rifle up and she aims it as close to the wheel as she possibly can. And she shoots.
Oh, shit!
That's a 20. I'll do the intimidate check just for funsies.
God.
Nice.
It's an 11.
I'm gonna say, with a nat 20, it fully disengages, and you actually hear this, like, as it detaches its own tongue to try and get away from the attack. So it is no longer grappling Bonesaw.
She takes aim and the bullet shoots and actually goes through the holes in the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it feels the heat and the fire from this, and it just, like, it jumps back and lets go. It releases its own tongue. The tongue is still stuck to you, Bonesaw, but you are no longer grappled from that mimic.
You know, this will make an excellent addition to my taxidermy collection later.
Excellent. And it is definitely shaken.
Sweet.
That right there's what we call mimic jerky.
Gross.
All right, Jasper, you're up.
All right, now that I'm no longer going to move, I feel threatened by this little wheel mimic on me here, but I feel more threatened by the gigantic saguaro cactus, a pummeling pell-mell towards me with all of its limbs waving. So I do have precise shot, which would keep me from suffering any melee penalties from being threatened by that wheel mimic. So yeah, I'm going to use that 2-weapon fighting on that big old gigantic saguaro green monster coming at me.
Fantastic. As you do, both the wheel mimic and the cactus mimic launch out arms to try and smash into you, but they both miss.
Woohoo! Alrighty, let's see here.
Another nat 20.
The 14 and a crit.
Beautiful.
Ah, nice.
Oh shit, the first one hits too.
Oh, good.
You unload, you just take your gun and just and start shooting, and you see one of these bullets just flat out hits it right in the stalk that has the mouth on it, and it just obliterates the entire stalk, and it falls to the ground, and it shrivels up into this hard, kind of stubbly looking limb as it takes, 57 points of damage?
Jesus.
Yay, Jasper!
And in addition, it has to adjust, and it brings up one of its legs to adjust and become a new mouth, which appears to have caused it a bit of damage, and it has slowed it.
Okay, well, I have a second gun. And I'm going to see if I can perform some more dentistry on this thing. Looks like at least one hit, probably two.
2 hits, yes.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
That's gonna be 20 more damage.
Yeah, get on!
Yeah, you just absolutely shooting straight from the hip, shooting at this thing, taking off big, massive chunks of it. It's not looking too good, and it's looking a little bit slowed.
I hope so.
Bonesaw, you're up.
You're so cool. Bonesaw being slowly crushed in the maw of this huge stagecoach mimic feels something trying to fight to take over, and he pushes it back, almost like when you feel like you're gonna throw up and you like swallow the gorge down, and he's like, no, I don't need your bloody help, you hear me? You keep your musty angel ass out of this. And nevertheless, after a moment, black energy crackles over him, and he's going to heal up for 5 as a free action. And then he's going to reach down into his pocket and pull out his Afriti cord. It looks like an 18-inch long string, kind of purplish, bluish, gray. And he quickly places it around the mimic that is around him and pulls out the little trigger for it and says, well, here goes nothing, and squeezes the trigger.
So it's gonna take 1 round for it to activate,
Okay.
and then it'll do 3d6 points of damage.
And ideally separate me from the mimic based on where I placed it, but that's sort of up to you.
I will say, when it comes around to its turn, if it can do more than 14 points of damage, it will release you from its grasp.
Okay. Is that cumulative? Because it continues burning for the 2 rounds after that for 2d6 and then 1d6.
Yes.
Nice. I just gotta survive that long.
Since you would have both a tongue and a large chunk of mimic stuck to you, it will...
Probably affect my maneuverability.
Yes. And I will also say you will take an attack of opportunity from it for wrapping it around.
Okay.
What's your AC right now?
14.
It slams another sewer pod into you. You're gonna take 16 points of damage.
Hang in there, Bones!
All right. It is the mimic's turn. It is frightened of Bonesaw as it just got this shot, and it's going to go and try and hide behind Moz.
Aww.
Don't.
I kind of want to keep one, though. Does anyone else want a pet mimic? Like one of the little ones?
You've got a piece of mimic stuck to you right now. Just keep that.
This one might be a little bit scared of you right now, but it is coming after y'all. He is going to charge at Moz. Just get up, rolling, starts spinning up, and takes off, heading straight for Moz. It nat 1'd.
It's always a lovely sight.
Yeah. God damn it. He actually, as he's spinning and shooting off, he misjudged the angle and bounces off of the cactus. Can somebody roll 1d6 plus 6 for me, please?
11.
11. He takes 11 points of damage
Nice.
from his own failed charge attack.
Beautiful.
Mimic 3, this is the one that was kind of rolling like a falling wheel, and it's going to wheel over next to Moz.
Popular today.
Yeah.
And then the one with the thousands of little cilia is going to move down below the bottom cactus and seems to be heading towards Myra. And then it's the stagecoach mimic's turn. It still has a grasp on you, Bonesaw. What's your CMD right now?
My CMD is 19.
Okay. I need you to please take 11 points of damage for me as it constricts you.
Bonesaw falls unconscious.
No! Shit.
Bonesaw, you are now unconscious and bleeding out and stuck to a mimic.
Shit.
Sorry, guys. I did a stupid.
No, it's okay. Does anybody else have healing?
Jasper makes a mental note to ask Bonesaw in the future. Maybe I should carry one of your little harm potions there or something to use on you in return.
The cactus mimic is going to 5-foot step.
Oh no!
Jasper, you just did a fuck ton of damage to it. It is going to slam a pseudopod down on you. What's your AC right now?
18.
18. It slams and it almost dribbles you as it hits. You're going to take 23 points of damage.
Ooh.
And you are now stuck to it. And then it is this wheel's mimic. It is going to attack the grappled Jasper.
Alrighty, I've applied the grappled condition.
Does a 17 hit you right now?
It does now, yeah.
Okay, it slams into you. Gonna take another 12 points of damage.
Ow!
And you are stuck to that one as well.
Myra, actually, hold on. Now's about time to use that present.
Oh, you gave me a fireball.
I did.
I completely forgot about that.
So I'm gonna cast Jester's Jaunt on Bonesaw, who's unconscious, so I believe they should just automatically fail or something like that. The unconscious body of Bonesaw, as they're being absorbed, is gonna start to sort of twitch about and do a dance that kind of resembles the Macarena before teleporting south a good distance. So I'm thinking around here.
The stagecoach mimic is kind of holding Bonesaw as Bonesaw is doing this. Macarena. Boom! And just like instantly is gonna blast and just lands in this flop.
There's other mimics near me, so I was casting that defensively. However, I bought certain bracers which let me cast defensively with advantage, I believe.
Ooh.
3 times per day, the wearer can choose to roll a concentration check to cast defensively twice and take the better result. I also get a +2 on the concentration checks.
Nice.
3rd level spell. You have to hit a 21. You easily hit that.
Nice.
With both.
Yeah, with both.
Got
Both
it.
of the wheel mimics don't even see this coming as you're casting this. They're kind of entranced by this, and you hear all 3 of the mimics that are near you going. Alright, Bonesaw is out of danger.
Woo, thank you.
Nice. I'd also like to take a 5-foot step backwards if I can.
Yes, you can. Perfect. That was Maz's turn. Myra, you're up.
Okay. Myra is shocked to see Bonesaw just appear right behind her.
Bust it down.
She actually goes fishing through Bonesaw's clothes to find the wand of inflict wounds.
You do see Goiter has detached from Bonesaw and is like scurrying around on top of Bonesaw.
Oh,
Almost like he's going to do something on his turn.
okay. Myra says, "All right, Gordy, you get Bonesaw, I'll get these guys." And she is gonna pull out that fireball that was gifted to her from Maz, and she's gonna squeeze it real tight, and she's gonna miss the nice warmth that it gave her, and
Aw.
she is going to cast it right at the big giant fucking swirl cactus.
Yes.
That isn't that one though.
Well, it's a 20-foot spread. So, first off, this is what it was going to be. I assume, right? Trying to hit all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, it will catch Jasper in the crossfire.
Alright.
Well, it would, but roll a d8 and a d4.
The first one's direction, the second one's distance.
Alright, 7 and is 4.
Oh, thank God.
The fireball is going to be centered right there. That is still going to capture everything but the one at the very bottom.
Did 12 damage, so Jasper and I don't take anything since it's beneath 20.
Perfect.
It doesn't outright kill Bonesaw.
That's a fail for the stagecoach. That's a fail for the cactus. That's a fail for the first wheel. Oh, that's a nat 20 for that wheel, so it's only going to take half. Also a nat 20 for that wheel.
Damn!
And that is a fail for the fourth wheel. So the second and third wheels only take half damage. Everybody else takes the full 12 points of damage.
Nice.
The cactus mimic isn't looking too hot.
Good. It's scary.
Okay.
Or it might be looking even hotter.
All right. It's your turn, Jasper.
All right. Just to clarify, the grappled condition in Pathfinder, I don't think I can use two-weapon fighting now.
No, you can only use one hand.
Right.
All of the condition stuff is taken care of by checking that box.
Okay.
But you're going to take a -4 penalty to your dex and a -2 penalty on attack rolls, combat maneuvers, all that stuff.
All right, then. I'm just going to blast this here mimic, the giant cactus mimic next to me, see if I can take this thing out.
Okay.
Yes.
So here comes an attack with a revolver.
Ooh, beautiful.
That's at least one hit.
You put your gun straight up against this. How do you want to kill this thing?
Yeah, get it.
Yes.
Go back to hell, you spiny demon.
Boom. At first, it looks like it's a bit of the cactus juice, but as it flies, it turns into this sickly purple blood as it splatters across, and the entire thing just gives this screech as its skin creases and crumples.
And even though I know these things are probably not intelligent and can't understand, I turn to the one that the other one that has me grappled says, "You want to be next? You want to be next?"
You feeling lucky, punk?
All right.
Jasper's a little unhinged today, and I'm loving it.
Bonesaw, give me a DC 10 Constitution check.
12.
Hey, nice.
You are stabilized.
Yay! I'm gonna roll 3d6 for the Afridi cord before you forget about
Yes. Thank you.
it. 13 damage.
13 damage. Fantastic. This thing is looking scared, and it tries to shake off the Afridi cord. But here's this little fun thing about mimics. Their adhesive is very, very, very strong.
Oh.
You just attached a block of fucking thermite to this using super glue, and it's not coming off. All right, you are stable. Goiter is going to search your bag to try and find the potion to feed it to you.
Thank goodness.
Give me a perception check for Goiter. This is going to determine if he's able to find the correct potion and feed it to you.
21!
21? Perfect. He pulls it out and shoves it in your mouth, thinks for a second, pulls it back out, pulls out the cork, then shoves it into your mouth again.
Too hard.
He took it with him and scuttled into the mask up through the neck hole. So all of this was hidden from everybody as you heal up.
Gross.
Bonesaw gasps and comes back. Oh, I don't like dying.
Oh,
Not fun.
Bonesaw.
Did I eat the soup? Is that why the green is everywhere?
It is now the wheel mimic's turn. Number 4 is taking a 5-foot step forward and is going to slam into Moz. That is a hit. You're going to take 16 points of damage, and you are now stuck to this guy.
Lovely.
The second one comes in. It's going to attack as well. Does 14 points of damage, and it is now stuck to you as well.
Ugh.
Number 2 is coming for your ass, Myra.
Ah, shoot. Shoot.
I'm trying to imagine a snake ass.
Tiny little hole.
I'm not going to imagine too hard.
This is the one scuttling on the thousands of Celia, and as it gets close, its entire wheelbase just opens up and it slams around you, Myra.
Ah,
You're
get
gonna
off.
take 14 points of damage,
Oof.
and you are attached to it, and you are grappled.
Okay.
All right, it's the big-ass stagecoach mimic. It is going to move right there. All right, it's this first one that is attached to you, Jasper. It is going to attempt to constrict you.
No!
However, it is not able to get enough purchase on you. It seems like your yelling at it has definitely had a bit of an effect on it. Moz, you're up. You're attached to 2 mimics right now.
Yeah, it's looking grim, y'all. Moz is gonna look back at Bonesaw, who he believes is a safe distance away, and tip his hat and detonate a fireball right at Moz's feet.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
So,
Holy shit.
funny thing is, I need to roll a d20 right about now.
Yeah.
What does the nat 1 mean?
What does that mean?
I know.
It means that it did a little bit more damage than I was expecting.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Are you still alive?
oh no.
So, technically, that's 2 separate attacks.
Yes.
So they both get separately reduced.
Yes.
For those who don't know, I had a very special fireball on my necklace intended for a special someone. However, every time I take magical damage, I need to roll a d20, or magical fire damage. However, on a nat 1, it detonates.
Oh my.
Oh, shit.
Let's resolve the first one first. Reflex save, everybody, DC 17.
Sorry, who is everybody?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Okay.
Oh, natural 20.
24.
Sorry, what are we rolling? I think I just blanked out with fear.
Reflex save, DC 17.
15.
Oh no.
Yeah. But you are all still in Moz's bardic performance.
I had grappled on, but I am no longer grappled.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll then.
Okay. 21.
Oh.
Oh, thank goodness.
All but the 4th wheel mimic succeed. Stagecoach mimic succeeds. Cactus mimic is dead. So 4th one just is full on burns away and is dead. Everybody else is taking 12 points of damage. Your circle that you're doing, that negates
20 resistance to fire damage.
Okay, so anybody who succeeded on the DC 17 roll, you take no fire damage for that first attack.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
If you failed, you take 4 points of damage. On the second fireball.
If I may, I'd like to do something with your permission.
Okay.
So the initial fireball would have activated the second fireball, but I imagine Moz might have had a second to assess that it was about to detonate, and I believe he would have tried to get out of the way. I'm thinking using passage through the pit. Just choose a random direction, get as far away from everyone with that second blow.
As a full round action, you can choose a direction, then teleport 2d10 times 5 feet away in that direction, or the nearest safe unoccupied location. I am going to say, because this is a full round action to do this, I don't think you would have time to be able to pull off the detonation.
Okay.
So, everybody roll a second set of reflex saves, DC 17.
27.
25.
Oh, nat 1 for me.
Myra! Oh no!
That is a nat 1 for Myra.
Oh, it's a nat 1 for Moz.
That is a nat 1 for Moz.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So that'd be 28 fire damage for everyone who failed.
28 fire damage for everyone who failed. For everyone who succeeded, that's 4 damage.
I am still standing.
Moz is unconscious.
Moz
no.
explodes
What the?
as this fireball that's in his pocket. You all see Moz tips his hat, throws the fireball at his feet, and it detonates and just sends out this flame. And everyone is a little bit shaken by this. And then you're all still standing, the mimics are still standing, and then you all hear this hiss. And Moz, you look in your pocket, and you see your second fireball has caught flame. And with a moment of recognition, all of a sudden, boom, a much, much bigger fireball explodes out. And Moz falls to the ground. Hat smoking, fiddle lying next to him. The dirt that was on it blown off from the massive amount of damage done to it. But it is still alive.
Moz!
Which is more than can be said for one. That one dies no matter what. And that one dies no matter what too. And that one failed. There's one wheel mimic up and the stagecoach mimic. Both are looking really bad. And that's Moz's turn.
Holy shit.
Holy Jehoshaphat!
Myra is going to cough heavily from all the smoke, and then she goes, "Damn it, that does it." And she's gonna pull out Ugly. And she's gonna take out Ugly with the bayonet sticking right out of it, and she's gonna point it directly at this wheel mimic. And she's like, "We're done." And she's gonna fire Ugly directly into it.
It is going to get an attack of opportunity on you.
That's okay.
You're going to take 11 points of damage.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay. I'm still standing.
And then go ahead and roll for Ugly.
I got an 18.
You look at this thing
We're done.
as it is obliterated by Ugly, just firing point blank range right at it. Just, there are not many things that are more disgusting and terrifying than a point blank shot of a shotgun, and this was done to a mimic. You actually disrupt it, and as you do, it is shifting in 5 different forms. You see it become a log, and you see it become a rock, and you see it become this weird abstract art as it dies, just falls to the ground. It is still attached to you, as are the 2 dead mimics. All of the mimics are still attached to everybody. You're not grappled, but you can't move normally because you have this mimic hanging off of you. That is Myra's turn. Jasper, the only target remaining is the stagecoach.
All right. Well, Jasper looks at the ashy mimic bits still clinging to him, pushes his hat back with one revolver, realizes that his hat is on fire, knocks it off, takes a 5-foot step to stomp it out. Dang it, I like that hat. And then I'm going to unload on this mimic here. Now, to clarify, if I'm not grappled, I can use 2-weapon fighting, or I am grappled and can't?
You can use 2-weapon fighting, yeah.
All right, then. Then I'm going to unload the first gun on him. That's a 15 and a 20.
How do you want to kill this guy?
Yes!
Yes!
Nice.
Go to hell, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you fan the revolver, just and unload into this thing that is like shuffling along. It is still burning from the Afridi cord. It is smoking and charred. It's barely holding together the semblance of this stagecoach. It is a sight that probably very few people have seen. A mimic in its kind of natural state. You see this blob of flesh that is starting to form from underneath. And as you unload it, it just... its mouth opens wider and wider and wider and just basically turns itself inside out as it dies.
Oh, that's a real John Carpenter moment.
And with that, combat is done.
Holy shit, we need to get to Maz.
Maz is down!
Moss, come back! Bonesaw is already whacking him with the healing wand, like, you stupid rat, you're not allowed to die!
Oh, man. I could use a drink.
Bonesaw grabs you by the shoulders and shakes you and says, what were you thinking?
I was thinking I was gonna get you out of there. Didn't have much other choice, far as I see it.
I mean, it looked really cool. Bonesaw pulls you into a hug.
I can't argue with the results.
Maz will just go limp and accept it.
Oh. How far are you down so I know how much healing to give?
I was at 27 hit points. I took 28 hit points of damage.
Oh, okay. I'll backtrack.
I need 57 hit points back up.
Okay. 45, 47, 52, 54, 57. I'm gonna count all those after.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Myra.
Yes. 59.
Beautiful. 17, 25.
After about 30 seconds, the adhesive that was holding on to Jasper and Myra and Maz turns brittle and cracks and falls off of them. And they no longer are stuck to the mimics.
Well, that's a small blessing.
Myra's taking, like, the tip of her tail and is, like, brushing off the rest of the mimic dust off of her.
That's 58.
Oh, that's perfect. That brings me up to full.
Okay, and then Jasper, I'm gonna do the other one.
I'm about at half. I need about 39.
Okay.
I actually made out more or less okay in that. Ooh, look at those rolls. Those are nice.
Yeah! 25, 31, 39.
That'll do it.
Okay, then the 4 is for me. Oh! The Wand of Cure Light Wounds is completely out of charges. So
You now have a very fancy stick.
no one get hurt until I can recharge it. I have elixirs, but
How long will that take?
It takes three dead dryads per charge, so it's going to be sad, but it needs to be done.
Yep.
I don't remember the specifics, but I'll just have to dump a little gold into it.
Got it.
You all take a minute to gather your breath and, like, recover from that absolutely horrific fight. As you look around, you can actually see underneath where the stagecoach mimic was. You can see that they had burrowed down and the original stagecoach was placed in that hole and it was on top of it.
Oh.
Okay.
What's the condition of the cart? Is it intact? Is it damaged? Can we wheel it out of here?
You realize that it looks identical to how the mimic looked before it shifted. So it had the broken axle, charred and damaged. Overall, not too bad. You do see 2 corpses kind of hanging out of it that are wearing cavalry blues.
Well, I didn't see much of that fight, but you all were killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, killing it in quite a few different definitions.
Jasper picks up the burnt remains of his hat and says, well, it wasn't without casualties.
Oh.
I really liked that hat. He puts this half burnt. It barely stays on his head, but he's got to keep the sun off somehow. That'll have to do for now.
Here, let me see what I can do about that. Maz is going to try and cast Mending on Jasper's hat.
It becomes a mimic.
In the 10 minutes, the hat fixes itself. It gets rid of some of that dust and burned sections and appears to be fully mended.
Hey.
Nice.
Well, doggy, look at that. It even still fits. Good going, Maz. You're forgiven.
You're welcome.
Hey, winks. Now let's see if we can sort through the remains of that cart and see if that serum is still there.
Yeah, Myra's gonna walk up to the stagecoach and start looking.
Okay. Who wants to touch it first?
Myra, as you approach, give me a perception check.
That's a 15.
As you look inside, you kind of pull the bodies up and toss them to the edge. You see a note flutter out of one of their pockets.
Ooh.
And land on the ground. But you see that this appears to be a small hoard for the mimics.
Yes! Loot, 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 loot.
It is a very interesting little treasure trove. You find what appears to be a stack of gold coins, probably from some bygone era. You see what appears to be a ring resting on the pile, a conquistador's plate mail, very large and full, and it glitters with this scaled bronze that appears to be some sort of dragon skin. A small packet of dust of some kind. You see a revolver similar to the one that Jesse carried, a Lamont revolver, but it has frost kind of collecting on the edges of it. You see a glittering gemstone, and you see on top of all of these 2 boxes with straps on them.
She goes to open the boxes.
Roll 1d2 for me.
Uh-oh.
Mimic. Baby. Pair of baby mimics.
As you approach this box, all of a sudden, it opens 2 eyes on top of it.
Damn it!
And
no.
it lunges at you and grabs onto your hand.
Oh my god.
She yells and she goes, ah, damn it, we're mimics!
But there's no pain from it. And in fact, it kind of holds onto you, and then it feels like it's sucking at your hand a little.
Mama?
And it opens its mouth again and like clamps down again. Like it's gumming at you.
Here's your chance, Bonesaw.
She lifts up her hand and shows everybody and is like, do I shoot this?
Is that a baby mimic?
Kill it!
I guess so.
Listen, hear me out. Moss is a propertied man now. We're going to need some sort of guard thing to, look after things while we're off adventuring.
It's called the sheriff.
She goes to kind of hold on to it. It still has eyes.
Yes, it still has eyes.
She just kind of stares at it and is waiting for it to let go of her fingers. Does it let go?
After a minute, yeah, it lets go, and kind of, as it looks up at you, it, in your hands, just vroom, changes into your gun on your back.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Myra is... Corinne is smitten. And I think Myra, unless anybody tries to stop her, is going to hang on to this mimic.
Yes.
For a little bit.
Oh.
Absolutely.
I just shared with everybody the treasure that you got from this hoard that includes your own very
mimic.
baby
Have
mimic.
a mimic!
Blake, this is the best day of my life.
Also, this doesn't have to be Myra's. Myra just happened to reach in at first, so it'll be the communal mimic.
Jasper looks at Myra and says, what are you going to do, name it Mamie?
She's like, I'm gonna name it Myra 3.
What happened to the second one?
Because her horse is named Myra 2.
Do you think it needs to be potty trained? What does it eat?
Ooh, that's...
Meat?
You see a little rat that scuttles by, and it just, 2 eyes open up on the sides of the revolver. And quick as a flash, it just shoots out its tongue and sucks in the rat into the revolver, and now there's just this bulge in the middle, or not revolver, this gun. There's a bulge in the middle of the gun.
Oh, good. Just like goiter. Can kind of fend for itself.
Grogu, no.
Charming.
I wonder if it'll like my cooking.
Let's not get our hopes up, Myra dear.
I can't abide with that sort of cruelty. I'll open the other chest.
Make a reflex save for me. No, I'm joking.
Your face.
Roll 1d1.
You open up the box, and as soon as you do, you're hit with this wave of cold coming from it, even colder than the outside air right now. Okay. And inside, you see dozens and dozens of small vials with frost on the outside of them.
I will close that box back up as quickly as I can, because I don't know the nature of the enchantment. This looks to be the serum.
Excellent.
Can Maz do a Arcana check on, like, the ring and the gem found in the treasure trove?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check on everything. If you want, you can take 20 on it.
Sure.
Awesome. The gun is a +1 Frost Lamont revolver, which means that in addition to its normal damage that it can do, it does an extra 1d6 frost damage whenever it's fired. And because it's a Lamont revolver, in addition to its 6 shots, it also has a mode that you can switch it to that has a single chamber shotgun that can fire.
Cool.
Like a underbarrel?
They're fucking weird. I'll send pictures of them, but
I'll take your word for it.
yeah, like all of the bullets go around the shotgun shell, and the shotgun shell is in the middle of the chamber.
Oh, that is a weird-looking gun.
Yeah, the ring is a ring of protection +1 that gives you a deflection bonus of +1. The Conquistador plate mail is actually bronze dragon hide plate. In addition to it being very powerful mail armor, it gives resistance to lightning. However, it's very bad to wear dragonhide plate around dragons, and particularly wearing it around like a bronze dragon is pretty much a guaranteed way to get attacked by that dragon on sight.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend wearing it around anybody you care about. Not that I'm pretty sure any of you can wear full plate anyway.
Yeah, but it'll probably fetch us a pretty penny.
It will. It's worth 3,300 gold of all of this.
Ooh.
The dust bag is Dust of Illusion. It's like chalk dust.
Oh.
And when you stare at it, it changes color and form. A creature covered in Dust of Illusion is affected as if by disguised self. Very fun. And the gem, unfortunately, is just a plain old gemstone. It doesn't have anything special about it, but it is worth about $500.
Cool.
Nice.
And then the letter that fell out of the pocket of the Union soldier.
Right. Anyone want to read the letter? Preferably someone who can read well.
I'll take a gander at it.
Okay. You pick it up and open it.
All right, here. Wait a second. This is in code.
Immediately, as you begin looking at it, it is very clear that this is in some sort of code language. On the outside, it is addressed to Thomas Whitman, Master Sergeant. It has a particular seal on it.
Oh, yeah, it does.
That seal is on both the outside
Oh,
and
shit.
on the inside.
Do I recognize this seal? Wings and a blue flame and 8-pointed star?
What do we roll for it?
Anybody can roll a religion check. It is an extremely high DC, except for Bonesaw.
That's what I thought.
You don't even need to roll Bonesaw,
Okay.
because you suddenly have a flash of a memory. You are no longer surrounded by your friends, and you're not wearing your mask. You're in Colorado, small town, and you're strapped down to a pyre. The townsfolk are clamoring around you, yelling for blood.
No.
And an elven man steps forward. A man wearing a wide black hat, beaver neck collar, very pale skin, a long gray beard. And he holds up his hands and says, "My friends, we have been going through a difficult time. And this charlatan, this user, has come into our town and has caused no end of harm."
Wait, it's not my fault. I couldn't fix it. I tried everything.
Do not listen to the words of the devil, for he lies to all of us.
Wait, please.
Somebody throws a rock at Bonesaw. Not Bonesaw, because you're not Bonesaw. You're Templeton. It strikes you on the forehead and you begin to bleed. And this man standing over you says, Now, brothers and sisters, there's a right way to go about this." And he brandishes a lit censer.
Please, don't do this.
And carved on this is an 8-pointed star with blue flame on the side and 2 wings. And the crowd begins to chant, "Dixon! Dixon! Dixon!" And he takes the censer, swings it around, says, "Now it is time, my brothers and sisters, for us to join our families in Elysium." And there's silence as you are cracked in the skull. Everybody else, you see Bonesaw go stiff and rigid before falling to the ground.
Hey, buddy, you alright there?
Bonesaw. It takes you a moment before you blink and come back to consciousness on the ground, back where you were in New Mexico, as Bonesaw.
Bonesaw? Bonesaw, are you okay?
He sort of pats himself over and makes sure the mask is still in place and presses it against his face for a minute and just tries to steady his breathing. And he says, I just had a sort of, a memory flash, and it wasn't a very nice one.
You alright? Do you need to take a sit? Well, I guess you're already sitting down.
Can I see that letter?
Sure. Here you go. I think I can decipher it.
Oh, yes?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, do you recognize this symbol?
I've seen it before, yes.
And do you know what it might mean? It doesn't look like no cavalry symbol I've never seen.
I believe it belongs to, a religious sort of person. The bad kind.
Oh dear. Like, I look at Maz and say, is this a good book symbol?
Doesn't look like good book to me.
There's an awful lot of religious stuff going out here in this here desert.
I think he killed me.
Who now?
The person with the symbol, I think he killed me.
Does the name Thomas Whitman mean anything to you?
No, I've never heard that. Dixon.
Does that name ring a bell for anyone?
I would say with the religion checks that everybody made, probably not.
What do you know about this Dixon person, Bones?
Well, I'd forgotten until just now. And I only have sort of a scrap. He was really mean. He made a lot of people not like me very much. And they sort of had me tied down. And he smacked me on the head with those Bernie things that religious people use.
Did they say why? Were you accused of something, or?
They seemed to think... I got the impression I hadn't cured them of something.
Huh.
It doesn't exactly narrow down your clientele.
I will say, Bonesaw doesn't know this, but in the last session you asked Asherell the same question, and Asherell has perfect recollection of Templeton's memories. And Asherell had said that Bonesaw went into a town. There was like a magical disease that Bonesaw wasn't able to cure, and so the religious person there riled the townsfolk against him and used him in some kind of sacrifice, and that's when Ash showed up. But Bonesaw doesn't know those details.
Well, I'd very much like to meet this Dixon person. Think we're overdue for a chat.
Well, if I can have about 20 minutes of quiet, I can decipher this. Whoever came up with this code, they weren't too smart. It's just a simple cipher. I'm guessing those first words there are Sergeant Whitman, which would give us 9 letters out of the alphabet. I can get this solved in no time.
You're so clever. Have at it then.
All right, I'm going to kind of toddle off, and with your permission, Blake, I'm going to see if I can solve this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
This might take longer than we have.
That's so good. You're probably going to solve it, but I'm just doing it for funsies.
Yeah, y'all can take time and figure it out, and probably report back next session with the text.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Because, to be honest, whatever you find from it will not contain any actionable stuff that you would be able to get until you return to Perdition or anything. So.
Okay.
All right, well, I've got it there for solving. If I resorted to using computer tools to just automatically replace things as I figured them out, I could probably do it in about 5 minutes, but...
I don't think Jasper's got a laptop on him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that's going to take a little while, but I feel confident.
Are we thinking maybe a large pyre for the bodies? I don't really feel right, sort of leaving them scattered.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
How many of them weren't burnt to a crisp in the
That's fair.
initial fight? Like, I'm not sure there's much left to bury.
Just the 2 army soldiers who are left that were underneath at the time. As you're looking at them, it's pretty clear that they've been, chewed on, and they've been dead for a couple of days now.
Do they have identifying name tags or things that if we were to run into army people, we could say, your guys who were missing, this is what happened to them?
Yeah, you're able to find military ID cards on both of them. One of them is Sergeant Thomas Whitman. The other one is Private Tian Shi.
Out of curiosity, I'm going to be looking at Thomas.
Yes.
Does he have a ring or a locket or a little key fob or something on him? Because typically with a cipher, there's a code wheel that goes with it.
Oh.
I read a lot of dime novels.
Give me a perception check.
30.
Beautiful.
30. You find he is wearing a ring, and when you pull it off, it has embossed on the inside are the letters DIXON, followed by the remainder of the alphabet backwards.
Dixon!
Yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult at all. I will hang on to both the ring and the letter.
All right, perfect.
So, where were we supposed to take these inoculations, or where were they supposed to be delivered to initially?
The Apache tribes.
Yes.
Right, and how far away are they?
Give me a survival check.
Don't believe that is one of my strong suits. 6.
No idea. You know it's to the west somewhere.
That direction.
What were you looking for, Maz?
I was, trying to see how far we had to lug this big old crate here.
It's not that big. It's probably a 6 inch by 1 foot by another 6 inches.
Okay, so just be carried.
Yes. However, when Jasper, you opened it up, it seemed much deeper.
Nice.
All right, well, considerable effort was done to keep this intact. My first thought was that, maybe this being a secret message and all, and the fact that apparently Bonesaw got killed over some kind of disease he couldn't cure. I'm not sure if this is to be trusted, but nobody goes to that much trouble to lay a trap. Bonesaw, can you, if we was to fish one of these vials out from this box, do you have anything on your possession that you could run tests on it and see if it is what it says it is?
Bonesaw has been sort of quiet, sort of shaken. He's playing with Goiter like he's a stress ball or silly putty or something. And he says, well, I don't have my travel lab. That's in the cart, but I still know a fair few things, and I've got some components. I could run a few tests.
Might be worthwhile. I don't know. That letter gave me a bad feeling. And the sooner we figure out what it says, the better.
All right. I'll hand one over. I'll see what I can see.
Alrighty. I'm going to quick as a wink fish one out.
All right. You pull it out. It's a small glass vial about the size of your thumb with a rubber stopper on the top, designed essentially so you can stick a syringe in, withdraw, and you do see attached to the top of the box is a glass syringe that is meant to go with these.
Can I roll craft alchemy to examine it?
Yes.
25.
Ooh, nice.
You give this once over, start testing it, kind of look at the coloration of it. Give me a medicine check as well.
Not medicine, heal, right?
Yeah, sorry, medicine's the fucking 5e one.
30!
Yes!
30.
30.
Okay, fantastic. You start examining this. It takes you a few minutes. You do some basic checks, pull it open. You actually unstopper it for a minute just to check it. You are able to tell it does have the smallpox inoculation in it. There seems to be some sort of element of it that it takes you a minute to recognize as just a basic preservation piece in it, to keep it, even if it was outside of the box. It had you worried for a second, like, oh shit, what is this? But you're able to tell this appears to be a pure inoculation. Nobody seems to have tampered with it.
Okay. Bonesaw throws himself into the identification of this thing, seeming to try to block out some of the other shit he's been dealing with. And after a few minutes of poking and prodding and testing, he looks up and says, as far as I can tell, it's good. There's a preservative in there, you know, your typical smallpox inoculation, chemicals and whatnot. I don't see anything strange about it.
Jasper's going to look at Bonesaw into the unfathomable glass lenses over his eyes, and there's a moment of silence as he seems to be trying to look past them. And then he says, well, that's good enough for me. My heart and my mind are at ease.
Oh, good for you.
Let's get these things packed up. I guess we can discuss the divvying up of stuff on the trail, but the sooner we get this stuff delivered, the sooner we can alleviate a lot of suffering.
Sounds good to me.
Right on.
While we still got daylight left. I will take the identification from the soldiers for delivery.
Okay.
To wherever.
I think if there are any bodies left, we can pile them and just set a fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Myra's gonna help out with the bodies.
Moz can help with the burning.
You all set these pyres and start making your way. Somebody give me a survival check.
I'm gonna leave that to Jasper.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
Jasper roll.
I will roll survival here.
Yeah.
19.
19? Yeah, you are able to find that this is actually off the beaten path of how to get to the Apache tribe, from what you know. The main direction, if you go back where you left the main road and continue along that main road, it'll bring you to the entrance to the Apache lands.
Alrighty. I'll take Smokey out of her stone.
Okay?
How is the mimic traveling with us?
Probably with Myra. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
She'll probably play with it a little bit at first and try to have it mimic a bomb to be whenever it feels threatened. I think she's gonna have the mimic actually sit around with Goiter.
Oh, Playmates!
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think that they would be perfect little playmates, and Goiter can kind of teach the mimic all sorts of interesting shapes.
Oh, you're not gonna like where that goes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to draw up a table for this because it's going to be interesting.
I love the idea of Goiter and the Mimic just like scampering off. Like they're nearby and you just every now and then hear like random squawks and puffs of feathers as they like attack the local wildlife. And
Yeah.
Maz is gonna pull the sheriff out of his pocket and say, "Go on now, get." And sort of urge him to join the critters.
Oh my god.
If we ever have an episode where we are all incapacitated, I think we've each got an alternate character.
Yep.
Smokey's gonna keep this whole group in line.
Yeah, the sheriff hops over towards the mimic and Goiter, and when he gets close, you see the baby mimics like start to wind up to attack, and then Goiter like waves its hands like mimic.
They're speaking.
And the sheriff jumps up on top of Goiter, and then Goiter climbs up on top of the mimic, and then the mimic turns into looks like a saddle.
I don't see any of this.
You all start to make your way back, following the path. This will take you past Carrie's cave, if you want to spend the night there, or if you want to try and make time. You guess that if you push hard, you could get there about 2 hours after sunset.
I imagine as everyone's mounting up to leave, Bonesaw would probably be on auto first, and Maz would kind of look up at Bonesaw and like extend his hands.
Aww.
Yes, come on, Maz, dear, right up in front here. Bonesaw gets nice and comfy. It's a very different experience from riding with Ash because Bonesaw's arms are around you as if he needs like the support to not fall off. But it's definitely a sneaky hug.
Oh.
You need that special saddle, like the two-for saddle.
Yeah.
Maz needs uppies.
Listen, Maz, I love riding on Otto with you, but I have been wondering. It's been a while since Tumble. Have you thought about replacing your pony?
There ain't no horse that can replace Tumble.
Oh,
I'm not ready yet.
I'm sorry. You can ride with me as long as you like.
Thank you, Bones. Let's just see this job through.
We should be there a couple hours after sundown, I'm imagining.
After hearing Maz kind of talk about him missing the horse, she's gonna see if the little mimic can be like a little tiny horse.
The mimic,
It's probably too small.
Yeah, it definitely is too small. It starts to try to look like a horse, but as it does, it kind of and like almost explodes out in a weird, going in almost all directions. It's kind of horrifying before it returns and just kind of shakes its head.
Nice try.
I think Maz is gonna pay Myra a dirty look for that.
What?
I was only trying to help.
Do you remember how Tumble went?
Oh, right. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Oops.
You all start riding hard and making your way through the box canyons. You look up and you see, like, high in the sky, a dragon circling overhead.
A blue dragon?
It does appear to be a blue dragon, yes.
Okay.
Bonesaw makes sure that the dragon hide armor is well hidden.
Good plan.
Tiffany!
Tiffany's a white dragon, so
Yeah.
it's probably Carrie.
Oh, that is true. My apologies.
Yeah, and also this is very old armor. Like, this is conquistador armor from, like, 200 years ago.
Do we want to stay with that delightful young dragon again?
I think it'd be too soon.
Oh,
For me, anyway.
I understand.
Let's push on then.
Let's push on. It's going to be dark by the time we get there, but we should be able to get there. We might even make contact with some advanced scouts. and possibly let them know we're coming. I do speak Apache. With that knowledge, does there come knowledge of trade sign languages or a signal that can be given for a party that approaches in peace?
I will say, yeah. You know a little bit of the calls that would be made by scouts and would be able to deliver a message like, we come in peace, and you wouldn't be surprising anybody.
All right. As it gets closer to sundown, I will occasionally let loose with one of those.
As you continue to ride and you make the turn, head up the main road, it starts to get dark and you start making these. They're not really bird calls, they're more a vocalization that is designed for like traveling far. As you get closer, you begin to see signs of a blockade, and there are markings on the walls written in English, French, Spanish, and Apache.
Holy cow. I speak all four of those.
You're able to read all of these. And they all say the exact same thing. You are approaching the Apache lands. If you mean well, approach in peace. If you mean harm, turn before you die.
Leave in pieces. Alrighty, I will raise my hand up high, and I will give the call signs that I know as best I can and as loud as I can.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Alrighty. 34!
Nice.
34.
Nice.
Hey.
I doubt they'll be able to come anywhere near that, but just in case. Oh, yeah, no, not even close. You see at the top of one of the ridges with a rifle pointing down an Apache warrior. He has war paint on his face, obscuring the bottom part of his face. He has his hair pulled back in a bandana, wearing some blue clothes, make it hard to see him, and you see he is tracking you with the rifle. When you make this sound, he cocks his head to the side slightly, and you hear him actually make another call further out. It's very much on the edge of your hearing. You can't quite hear him, but you hear the same call going forward, and he dashes down below a rock edge, and you lose sight of him.
All right, we've been spotted, and I have a feeling they're going to have a confab out there before they come and greet us. Bonesaw, I'm cogitating. We never really discussed this before, but given our state and given the species of our other companions, are we susceptible to smallpox?
What do I need to roll? A heal?
Yeah, roll a heal check.
19?
While you are susceptible to it, Bonesaw and Jasper would be resistant and would have a bonus against it, and everybody else is susceptible to it, but it would be unlikely that these guards would necessarily be infected. Like, they would not be out running around if they were sick.
Right.
Well, we all could potentially catch it, but you and I would have a harder time contracting it, I think.
We'd get, like, smaller pox or something.
Mini pox.
Yes, I think that's how that works. That sounds right.
All right, then I'll take your word for it. I just wanted to make sure that that there wasn't any potential for anything to go wrong here or any unnecessary heartache. I have a feeling that if we wait here, we will be approached. Everybody, don't make no aggressive-looking moves, and we should be fine.
Roger that.
If it sets your mind at ease, I do have medicine that can cure smallpox. It's just not something I can do for a lot of people all the time.
Yeah, let's, we've got enough here, I think, to cover all the people what need it. But we'll keep that in mind for Plan B. Jasper's kind of conflicted now. I want to trust Bones' opinion, but I've seen Bonesaw's opinion on some things.
Yeah, Myra's handkerchief is going to go over her face just in case.
Inside, he knows that Bonesaw probably at this point in time deeply needs to be regarded as an expert. And this is one of the reasons why he keeps conferring with Bonesaw on medical type knowledge.
Sweet.
After about half an hour, 3 figures approach very quietly. All 3 of them are carrying rifles. The first one that's kind of leading, having the red bandana around his head, you recognize as the one that you saw up on the hill. The second one is also wearing war paint but has his hair loose. He's carrying a bow and arrow, actually. But as you look at it, there is something that just strikes you as very powerful about this bow. There's an energy just thrumming off of it. And interestingly enough, he is wearing a Union officer outfit that you can tell has probably been stolen from somebody.
Yeah, okay.
And then finally, the third guy, he looks a bit older than the other 2. The first one's like young men. The third one, he looks a bit older, more creased in the face. He's wearing a blue bandana with a yellow neckerchief. All 3 of them are dressed fairly well for the warmth, dressed in layers. They approach, and the one at the front holds up a hand for them to stop and says, "Good evening. You all seem to have traveled far."
You speaking in English?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. We have traveled far, and hopefully we have something you're gonna need. My name is Jasper Graves, friend of Natan, friend of Taklashem. These are my companions, Maz, Bonesaw, and Myra. I do not name the assorted pets.
We're gonna hide the mimic.
I'm Angus. This, and he points at the man in the Union uniform, says, "This is Escalero, and this," and points at the older man as Peple. "We are the border guards. What do you bring to trade? I'm afraid we cannot allow you onto the reservation, especially not with that one," and nods to Myra.
What?
She's not with the railroad anymore.
No, yeah, I'm just a freelancer.
Well, I had hoped you would have word of our coming. Natan said that he was going to send advance word. Natan charged us with recovering the vaccine, the medicine, for the affliction your people are suffering, and we have come to deliver it. Have you received such word?
Mangas turns to Escalero and says in Apache, "Did you hear anything about this?" No, I didn't. Well, wait. Yeah, a couple of days ago, I think we heard about that. That was... Honestly, I'm surprised they actually found it. Veple speaks up in Apache and says, "We're sure we can trust this. They're traveling with a snake."
I'm not going to let on that I understand them yet.
Mangas says, "I believe we did receive word that was coming. You have the inoculations."
I will say to them in Apache, the woman, whom you call the snake, has done much to recover this and suffered grievous wounds. She is to be honored, not feared.
Aww. Such a solid move. And she has no idea that you're doing that.
All 3 of them look a bit surprised that you're speaking Apache, but Veple is the first one to speak up and says, once again, this is being said in Apache, "It is good to hear that she has performed admirably. However, to allow her into our lands would be taboo. Snakes, it's considered a bad omen to be in contact with snakes."
Well, I'm not going to push nothing, but she is the one that carries your medicine. If you would be so kind as to allow her to deliver it to you.
Mangus nods and says, "Escalero," and he slings the bow onto his back and steps forward towards Myra. He is watching you like a hawk as he approaches. Like, he is expecting you to attack at any second.
She is completely oblivious to this and waves and goes, "Hiya!" And presents the box. Here you go.
Escalero steps forward and snatches it out of your hand.
Oh,
You can
okay.
see his other hand is on a knife on his belt
Oh, easy.
as he backs away, keeping his eye on you.
Well, what I do?
They're might nervous, Myra. I wouldn't put much on it,
Oh,
but I think they've been through a lot, and they're a little untrustworthy. But let's see if we can just get through this with a minimum amount of fuss.
Oh, okay.
Now, I understand there's a certain payment tied to that box there.
Ah, yes. In Apache, I say, the cunning rat person behind me has just reminded me that Natan said that there was to be a transaction for the service. We have suffered greatly and traveled far.
Of course. Allow us to check and make sure that everything is as it appears to be.
Absolutely. Do your people have training in using this?
Mangus nods and says, "We know how to use syringes." Points over at Veple and says, "He trained with a doctor in Albuquerque for some time."
This is great news.
The three of them sit down. Mescalero pulls his bow back and he's watching the group of you as Veple opens the box and pulls out one of the vials, starts examining it, very much in the same way that you did, Bonesaw. And after a few minutes, he looks at Mangus, nods, and says in English, "I believe that everything is in order." Veple pulls down a satchel from his own and opens it up, and you immediately see this plume of frost come from it, and he starts transferring all of the vials over to it. Mangus talks to Mescalero in Spanish this time and says, "All right, keep an eye on these two. I'm gonna go get the money that Natan promised them. You're good to take care of it?" Yes, I'm fine to take care of it. I'll keep an eye on them." And Mangus is gonna walk away as Veple continues.
All right, I will not let on that I understand that as well. I'll hold that card close to my vest.
After a few minutes, Veple is finished. Mangus returns and has a billfold, counts it out, and hands over $250.
Nice.
Thank you. Give our regards to the poor children who suffer from this disease. May it help your people.
Thank you. Is there anything else you need? You are welcome to take that box with you.
Oh, I think I know somebody who can use it.
Oh, goody!
You understand, we don't exactly want to have something that was provided by the U.S. Army on our lands, even if it was helpful to us. Just to be safe.
No, very understandable. Of course, you wouldn't want to do that.
I will make no notice of, but it's possible if they're doing a sense motive on me, they might see my eyes flick over to the blue jacket. But I won't say anything.
Veple has finished putting on the satchel and he's pulled out a staff that he taps on the ground, and you see these glowing letters start appearing up the length of it, and he says, "Thank you very much. Your service has been greatly appreciated. You have saved the lives of many children today." The staff brightly flashes, and Veple has disappeared.
Well, tarnation.
That's a nice trick.
You see Mangus roll his eyes and say, "He could have just walked there. He didn't need to take that."
What a show off.
As we are about to turn to leave, I turn and I ask them, on our way back, where is the nearest place where we could find plentiful game and water? But I say it in Spanish.
What a power play.
Mangus actually turns a little red at this. Both embarrassment and, he just got called out, and, it's just this, you fucker kind of moment.
I am smiling in good humor, but yeah.
And Mescalero says, "Well, you're a tricky one, aren't you? When you're coming out of the mountains, hang a bit further south. There's some good game and a river that runs out down to the Rio Grande. Should be able to help you."
Thank you kindly. Good day to you. Go in peace.
For the entire party, this entire interaction was 3 or 4 words in English, and then a bunch of gibberish thrown back and forth.
Yeah, no, Myra is just I have no idea what just happened.
I'm not going to give all the information that I heard, because that went exceedingly well, and I don't want to jinx it. But I will, once we're out of earshot, I will say, yeah, they were a mite nervous. They've had to deal with some hardships out here in the hills. And they have had a run-in or two with the railroad folk, I say, nodding to Myra.
Oh,
so
okay.
They were a little nervous.
Give me a knowledge local or a knowledge religion check.
A 10.
7.
Oh,
Oof.
not one.
Oh, another 7.
Yeah.
Oof.
Hey, we just peas in a pod.
Yeah, we are but pawns in the hands of fate.
Yeah, y'all don't really have further information.
Oh, there's something juicy there.
As we're moving away, Bonesaw says, "Do you realize what this means?
What does it mean, Bones?
Well, you got a place to make ice cream?
Everyone can have ice in their drinks when we're on the trail. There'll be no more, only one person can have whiskey on the rocks."
I can think of no better use.
Oh, and we can store medicines and legs and things in there, too.
Well, hold on now. Yes, I was just about to say, if you're going to store body parts in there, then we're definitely not going to use that for drinks.
Yeah, I think we need some ground rules on the usage of this thing here.
But if it's frozen, what does it really matter?
It's a matter of the ambiance of the whole thing, I think.
Just so you know, in addition to being able to preserve whatever is placed in it indefinitely, it functions as the 2 end pouches of a handy haversack and can take up to 40 pounds of weight or 4 cubic feet in volume.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Well, very well, but you're going to have to write me an explicit list because I don't really know where your lines are, your lines between what's appropriate and what's not, so...
I think either stuff that we intend to consume or things that we don't, but no mixing of the two. I would like to point out that if we have a box that can keep things cold, we don't have to go worrying about no hardtack or dried meat. We could get ourselves some fresh meat, keep it cold in there for, I don't know, weeks maybe. Who knows?
Like an icebox.
Exactly so.
Well, I'm down for whatever you need to make delicious dinners, because...
I'll be cogitating on a list on the way back.
Oh, that sounds good.
In the meantime, they did give directions to a nice watering hole and maybe a place where we could scare up some game without too much trouble. Make a nice camping place on the way back, because it is pretty darn dark.
Give me a perception check, whoever would like to.
Alrighty. 33.
19.
15.
Jasper, you are the only one who sees it up on the cliff as you all are making your way out of the Badlands. You see Mescalero is walking along the cliffside, keeping an eye on all of you, just watching from a distance.
I'm going to wave at him.
You're just pushing all their buttons today.
Oh, I'm gonna out Apache the Apache.
He starts to reach for an arrow, then takes for better of it and just, like, leaves it.
That jerk.
You all begin to make your way out of the valley. You find yourselves a small place to camp. What order are you wanting to take watches in?
I don't mind going first again.
I'll go second.
I will go third one more time.
Alright, and I'll take last if we're gonna make 4 watches out of it.
Okay. Bonesaw, give me a perception check.
Okay. 23.
You do notice up on the cliff's edge, you see Mescalero just sitting there watching all of you, bow on his lap.
Bonesaw will also wave.
We're superheroes.
You can almost see the sigh coming from him as he just puts his face in his hand.
You can't see me. I am darkness. I am the night.
Hey, Mescalero!
I think Bonesaw will also spend a chunk of his watch sort of scribbling notes in a little notebook that he has and playing with some of his components and just doing some thinking.
Excellent. Maz.
Perception check?
Yep.
17.
Nothing seems to stick out of the ordinary during your watch.
Okay. I think Maz will just probably play with the sheriff for a little.
Oh.
Myra.
19.
You notice some rocks falling down one of the cliff faces, but it's just a bunch of pebbles, and that's all you notice.
She is also gonna try to teach the mimic how to look like a stick of dynamite that's fizzing down.
Give me an animal handling check.
19.
19? Okay. It looks like it'll take some more practice, but from a distance, it's a pretty convincing stick of dynamite.
She is planning on eventually teaching it to look like it's sizzling, so if ever they're in deep trouble, she can just throw the mimic into a crowd of people and go, fire in the hole.
You know, this is gonna backfire when the mimic sees how funny it is when everyone reacts to when it takes that form, and it's just gonna do it all the time.
Oh, God. I think you should train it to look like a hat.
Ooh.
And you could just wear your mimic. It could whisper to you. You could talk to it. And then if anybody ever tries to take your hat...
Oh my god. That is a brilliant idea.
Jasper, you're up.
Alrighty. I'll take a look around. I'll look up on high first, seeing if I can see any of our watchers. But I will take a look around. Holy cow,
no.
nat 1. Rolled a 16.
Yeah, you're looking into the sky, and you don't see anything. There's nobody there. You know, it's perfectly clear. Absolutely nothing to see here.
All right, well, here's the reasoning behind this. Jasper surreptitiously is not really paying that much attention, because when nobody's looking, he goes over to the remains of the campfire, stirs it up a little bit, pulls out a piece of paper, and he starts trying to decipher that letter.
Yeah, he's busy figuring it out, working
Distracted.
on it. He manages to hide it just in time for the first people to wake up. And in the morning, you all begin your way back to Perdition. It is going to be an easier ride back. There's only going to be one check over the course of the next, 4 days back? So if somebody wants to go ahead and roll 1d100 for me.
Oh, somebody else this time. I got us a captured devil last time I rolled 100, D100.
86.
That looks very close to what I rolled.
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh.
The first day goes by without incident. The second day, as you're riding, you see a figure in the distance. He is walking away from you, but you can't make much out from this distance.
Okay. Gonna keep an eye on this figure, and as we get closer, since we are all mounted, I believe, and this person I think you said was walking, we should overtake them eventually. Try and discern something about them as we get closer.
As you get closer to them, you begin to start to make out some interesting features. They're wearing loose-fitting robes, but on top of the robes, on their arms and shoulders and legs, you see that they're wearing what appears to be armor, specifically some Japanese-style armor.
It's our samurai.
He has a banner coming up from his back. It's a blue field with a white flower on it, but you see what appears to be a splatter of blood across it. He is carrying a nodachi in his right hand, and he has a pair of swords at his left hip. He's wearing a wide-brimmed hat to keep out the sun. He does not seem to acknowledge you as you start to get closer.
I'll make sure that everybody is seeing what I'm seeing, and I will describe the figure. Does that seem might out of place?
I don't know. Fellow can dress how he likes. Pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I do hold with the ironmonger he's wearing. Does indeed seem of a nice order, but it seems more like something you'd see in a musical theater than something you'd see out on the plains and in the hills.
Yeah, he's got a set of swords there. Don't see that very often out here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Should we approach and hail this feller?
Most definitely. Maybe he's a fancy performer. Maybe he could join our show.
Maybe so.
We'll see about that.
Well, why don't you take point on this one?
Hello there! Hello, Mr. Swordsman!
As he turns around, several things come into view quite quickly. He turns around and holds the Nodashi down in a fighting stance. And for a brief second, you see the face of a older Asian man that looks just tired. Except for the eyes, which are bandaged around. Effectively, he appears to be blinded. As he does turn, his face shifts, and you see no longer the Asian man, but a fox man with two tails.
Cool.
Oh.
That's a really cool trick. Do you do performances?
Who are you?
I'm Bonesaw. Nice to meet you. This is Jasper and Myra and Mose.
He has a Japanese accent as he speaks, which I'm not going to attempt. He says, "You are travelers."
Oh, yes, of a sort. We get up to all kinds of adventures and things.
He starts to approach you. He still has the Nodashi down in a prepared stance, but he is approaching slowly until he gets to about 10 feet of you on your horses. And then he cocks his head to the side and says, "What on this earth are you riding?"
This is my horse Otto. Sorry, I only did half the introductions. This is Otto, this is the sheriff, and this is Goiter, and this is Myra 2 and Myra 3, and I shouldn't have left Smokey for last, but I got flustered.
Tell me, do you all know of a Tengu who wears blue robes, carries 2 swords on his back, 2 knives at his hips?
No, don't think so.
Can I make a knowledge nature or history or something? Or
Yeah.
30.
30? Yeah. You know that Tengu are a crowfolk race. They're typically associated with the Far East, but they have obviously spread out across the world. They generally travel in groups. It's uncommon to see one by themselves.
I can't rightly say that I've never seen no one like that. Any of the rest of you?
No, not really.
Nope. What's your business with them?
He looks around at all of you. He's gonna make a check.
The blind fox looks around?
Yes, he does. He looks around at all of you.
Okay.
He takes a breath and steps back into a more at ease stance and plants the Nodashi next to himself and says, "I am seeking revenge."
Oh, yes, as you do.
He killed my master and brought the downfall of my clan.
Oh.
That's awful.
If we see such a person, you want us to steer him your way or steer him away from you or what?
If you do find him, please do point him towards me, or point me towards him.
Where will you be? So we can do the pointing.
Around.
So helpful.
I am a Ronin. I wander.
Have you got a home base, or a name, or a postal box?
Well, how can we get word to you, in other words? Because I have a similar favor to ask of you.
I am Amakusa Kitsune for those in this area. I generally have been focusing around a town to the west of here, a place called Perdition.
Well, sounds like we're pretty much neighbors. Listen here, sir. My name is Jasper Graves. If you ever see a gang of no good, no count, down low polecats would have scorpions tattooed on the backs of their hands or anywhere on their bodies nearabouts, I would appreciate it if you could return the favor for the exact same reasons. You can get message to me through Silent Joe in Perdition.
There's this look of just almost shock on his face as you say this, and he looks and just says, "So, are there 7 of these folk traveling together?"
Whoa. I don't know. I never seen but 3 at once because they shot me in the gut and left me to die in the desert. You saying you know these people? I'm dismounting.
My target, Katakura, she was last seen in the company with 6 others who followed a woman with a tattoo of a scorpion down her neck. Marie-Francois Saint-Olaine.
Ooh.
Called themselves the Scorpion 7.
Friend, if your sword is at my side, my gun's at yours. I owe those bastards a debt of honor that must be paid.
And as do I. And he extends a hand to you, Jasper.
I will take it, and I will shake it, and Jasper is not even thinking about the rest of his companions at the moment as he's making this, like, revenge pact with this person he met 5 minutes ago.
Amakusa says, if either one of us finds any word of this group, we'll send word for the other.
Yeah, I've given you a contact in Perdition. Is there somebody who can get a message to you while you're there, when you're in town?
Yes, I have been frequenting one of the locations of ill repute in town that is, tends to be a good place to gather information. It was the Throne Shoe Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Casey Long.
Never heard of it. I'm gonna roll a bluff.
Yeah, roll bluff against his sense motive.
Ooh, that's low for me.
That's where Maz got knockout drunk, right?
Yeah, he looks at
Yeah.
you. You do not lie very well,
Ooh.
small rat man.
Depends on whether I'm sober or tipsy.
Perhaps you need to be more drunk then.
I could go for a drink just about any time.
We're headed back to Perdition ourselves. You want to travel along with us? Again, he is not consulting the group.
I would appreciate a bit of company. It has been lonely recently. And he's going to reach in his bag, and without looking towards you, Maz, is going to toss a bottle towards you.
Hey.
Oh,
He's cool. He's down.
much appreciated. This is long overdue. I'm guessing sake?
It is definitely sake.
Nitric
Okay.
acid and glycerol.
I don't know if Maz would know what that is.
Yeah, it has a single symbol on the bottle that I doubt anybody here speaks Japanese. That means sake.
Maz would take a grateful swig and probably hand it back.
Makusa reaches up, takes it, stores it.
Bonesaw looks longingly after the bottle.
You still owe me a drink, don't forget that.
I owe you so many drinks.
Well, let's get to town. I'm thirsty.
You all continue with your new friend, riding another pair of quiet days, as you finally make your way back into Perdition.
Bonesaw, your wagon is here somewhere, isn't it?
Yes, we could check in with Stella, but I'm sort of curious about what's happening with the railroad and Myra's memory, also.
Oh, there is that.
I'm a property owner now as well.
Oh, that's right.
Haven't even opened the front door.
Do we want to see what's going on with Myra's things, and then maybe stop by the property, see what's going on there?
Sure.
Yeah, imagine there's some paperwork you gotta fill out somewhere there, Maz. We could stop by the town hall.
Oh, this is all the paperwork I'll need, and Maz will retrieve the deed for the land.
Oh, sorry, that got burned up in a fireball.
That was the 20 hit points that got protected in the fire.
You all say goodbye to your new Kitsune friend, and you're gonna go finalize some details, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, checking with the mining office, make sure that they got what they needed and that they're giving the discount to the railroad, going to the railroad, making sure they got the discount, and that they are indeed going to change their route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You all make your way over to meet with Vi Desmond, the kobold who's in charge of the Grimestone Mining Company here in Perdition. She is finishing up what appears to be a large plate of roast chicken when you come in. She says, "Oh, you're all back. She wipes off her face and hops down off her stool.
Hi there.
I got word the other day that you got everything back to work. Good job.
Yep, indeed. So we're just kind of backtracking and making sure that all the deals that we've made are squared up. Are you going to give that discount to the railroad that we had agreed upon?
A deal's a deal.
Excellent news.
She goes and picks up a rolled bit of parchment and hands it over. I sent a courier to have it delivered the other day, but the railroad office was closed up. Not sure what was going on. Here you go.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's go find out about that. Well, thank you kindly. It's always a pleasure doing business with upstanding folk. And hope your mining goes well from now on.
Thank you very much. Look forward to working with you some more.
All right. As we leave the office, I'm going to turn to the others. Railroad office closed? Anybody ever heard of the railroad office closing up?
Wasn't Wilmington looking a bit under the weather the last time we saw him?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he did look a mite peaked.
So Corinne knows what it is. Does Myra know what it is?
Give me either a heal check, knowledge nobility check, or a knowledge history check, or a knowledge local.
Okay, I'll do knowledge local. 24.
Nice!
This feels concerning because from what you know, anytime a railroad man is feeling sick, bad things have happened in the town soon after.
Ooh.
You heard about an incident in Santa Fe about 5 years back. It's all rumor, of course, but a Diamondback Railroad man was sick. And suddenly, 7 people were dead, including the railroad man.
She remembers this, but she actually decides not to say anything. For now. But she's got a nasty feeling in the pit of her stomach.
I assume you all are going over to the railroad office.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you approach, you see what appears to be Wilmington standing outside the front door. He's wearing his trademark white coat with the white derby hat, but he turns around and he has scars along the left side of his face, and one of his eyes is milky. It appears that his left hand, it has burn scars on it.
Fuck.
He turns and looks at all of you as you approach and says, good morning. Oh, good afternoon, I suppose, and he looks at a watch. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Leighton Merriweather.
What
We met several weeks ago back in Ravenspine. I unfortunately had a bit of a run-in with one of Carter's gang members while I was leading them away.
Oh. Leighton.
Oh, hello, Leighton. You're looking peachy. Just wonderful.
Is that a bluff check?
Yeah, make a bluff check for him.
18? I would understand if you put a minus on that.
He straightens up a little and says, "Why, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I'm curious. I had a meeting today with my compatriot here in town, Wilmington Clark. Don't suppose you've heard anything from him."
Heard anything from him?
Yes, it seems the railroad office is closed, which is against company policy during the day, and it's a bit concerning. I asked around, and it seems that office hasn't been open for the past 4 or 5 days.
We've been out doing a job for him, which is kind of stretching the truth, but it's close.
I think that's close enough.
So we have been out of town. We'd like to settle up the end of that bit of business with him. But you say that the office is closed. Have you tried to get in? Is there anybody in there? Or has he just vanished?
He seems to have vanished. I was going to go and speak with the sheriff next. Would you four mind going to his home and seeing if you can find anything there?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Might just be taking a sick day. Or several.
Sick day. On railroad time. That's hardly allowed. You'd better have the plague if that's the case.
Well, we'll go check that out.
Yeah, let's go check that out. And right now I'm thinking, wow, I don't know if we dodged a bullet by choosing Avery or if it was the other way around. I don't know. It's like choosing between a rattlesnake and a stick of dynamite. But well.
Myra, make a constitution check for me.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
6.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
In the back of your mind, something has been happening the past couple of days. Right now, it just is really starting to feel worse. You're feeling itchy. Your entire body just feels itchy, and it is driving you slightly crazy. And in this moment, it's starting to affect you. And you're starting to feel just a little bit more angry.
She starts scratching behind her neck and goes, God damn it. Did all this work and now it's Wilmington is out doing God knows what. Jesus, why does it have to be so complicated?
You're right. That's not fair. Let's go talk some sense into him.
Let's go see if we can track down Wilmington.
Does anyone pick up on Myra's tendencies?
Everybody make a sense motive check. And Myra, make a bluff check.
Natural 20.
Oh, nat 20!
Nat 20 on your bluff check. Nothing seems wrong with Myra.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sure this will build.
Well, she's understandably pissed that Wilmington's not available. Let's go find out.
Let's go track him down.
Leighton gives you Wilmington's address. Company house, of course. And you all make your way following the roads. You pass 1-2 houses until you finally arrive at the end of the lane. As you approach the door is slightly ajar.
Oh, no.
That don't look good. Mr. Wilmington, are you in there? And I'm gonna listen real hard.
There's no response.
Does the door look like it was left open intentionally or that it was broken down?
From what you could tell, just quickly glancing at it, it looks like it was left open.
Okay.
Myra's already in there. She's looking around frantically for him.
She enters, and there is carnage and destruction. There's a broken bench and a tossed counter table, and looks like some of the floorboards have been ripped up. And you all see splotches of blood. It also smells, as you come in, of this rank, putrid scent. Something that feels just wrong about this place.
Does it look as if it has been the site of a big old fight, or as if the place has been tossed, like somebody's searching for something?
Make a perception check.
27.
It looks like there has been a struggle here. An immense struggle, especially with the blood. However, from what you're seeing, there only appears to be one set of tracks. There does not appear to be any other sets of tracks. And specifically, they are snakefolk tracks.
Leading what direction? Outside the house?
No. Inside, towards a back room.
Great.
Everybody be on your guard here. It looks like there was a mighty struggle here, but I only see one set of tracks.
He must have been fighting a ghost.
Well, Wilmington was not looking too good. I wonder if he went a little loco. Everybody be on your guard. I'm gonna pull my gun.
Bonesaw will draw his hog splitter.
I'm gonna do Inspire Courage, which is just pluses to most ability checks and attack rolls and whatnot.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You round the first corner, getting deeper in, and begin to see more carnage, more blood, a destroyed table, a bed that has been tossed against a wall. You see what appears to be an arm, ripped fully from a shoulder, just laying on the ground.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
And in the next room, slightly further beyond, you see what appears to be a small flickering light of a small lantern, barely full.
What are these on the ground? Are they mushrooms?
As you look into the next room, you see more blood on the ground. And then you see chunks of flesh that have been dropped, tossed listlessly. And you see something laying there, something large. It looks like some large snake creature. And then it sits up, facing the wall. And it's wearing Wilmington's white jacket.
Wilmington? Is that you?
It rotates its head around to face you, and indeed it is Wilmington, but there is something wrong. His eyes are flared with this dull glow. He's carrying a knife in one of his hands, and it is soaked in blood. His entire jacket, his front, is soaked in blood. He has cuts along the side of his neck, and you see his arms are missing almost all of the scales and even most of the flesh.
But he still has both his arms?
He still has both his arms. And he looks at all of you. You've come back.
What?
Please, give me just a moment. I need to freshen up. And he puts his hands on his forehead. And he starts massaging his scalp. And you start to see blood coming. And as he does, he starts to laugh. As he rips his face apart.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
No!
Creating a hood of a cobra, and he grows larger. And as he does, his arms split apart, and suddenly he has 2 regular arms and 2 skeletal arms. His face dripping gore down his front as he bleeds. Welcome to Perdition. Time for your train. Roar! And he lunges.
Dust and Blood is a Rolling Path production featuring Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Blake Alfson as our GM, Zach Parker as Maz Copernicus Pryor, Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, and myself, Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Our theme song is Dust and Blood by Arne Parrott, and other music throughout this recording is provided by Kevin Macleod, Tabletop Audio, Dark Fantasy Studios, and the Desperados 3 original game soundtrack by Filippo Beck Peccoz. Cultural information about the Apache tribe portrayed in this episode was informed and inspired by the official website of the Mescalero Apache tribe, which you can find at mescaleroapache.com. Transcripts, detailed sound credits, and more can be found on our website at DustAndBloodPod.com. You can follow us on X and Facebook at DustAndBloodPod, or support us through our Patreon at Dust and Blood, where you can join our community Discord and get perks like our behind-the-scenes discussion show, The Roundup. We are so grateful for the support of our fans, people like Rain, Seru, Miss Blevins, and Webbatub. Dust and Blood releases monthly on the 1st, and our next episode is coming at you on April 1st. Content warnings can be found in every episode description, and we hope you enjoy exploring this fantasy western with us. Thanks for listening.
My eyes shoot open to the early morning sun. I feel that aching, pounding, poking of a bullet in my lungs. Skinny ceiling, bones crunching. I feel that wretched ancient something drag me up to face that coward son of a gun. His face goes white as he fumbles for his holster. I feel the lead pierce my shoulder, neck, and chest. I scream that I have died 100 times and lived 1,000 years, and I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best. Yes, I'll be damned if a boy like you is gonna be the best.
Tell me, do you all know
the Muffin Man.
Yes, he lives on Drury Lane.
Beat me by 1 second.
I'm sorry,
So
I
close.
couldn't resist.
Rocks fall, everybody dies.
Beat me by 1 second.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You have the inoculations.
Who grabbed it?
I don't remember.
Cut back to the mimic battle site where the inoculations are
Yeah,
sitting
it's just
all
sitting
alone. A lone vulture circles
Forgot the
overhead.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that was a fucking fantastic fight, y'all.
That was amazing.
That was bananas.
I almost killed the entire party.
For a second there, I was like, is this a TPK?
I was worried about that.
And then I was like, is Moz dead?
Yeah, I was having to triple check those numbers because I was like, fuck. This was like the absolute worst possible time for it to have gone off.
Yeah, you know, I've literally, that is the first and only time I've rolled a d20 because I've been very particular about not taking magical fire damage, and the one time it becomes relevant,
Yep.
well, it worked.
Well,
out.
that's good. It means it did its job.
Yep. And honestly, in that turn, you killed 3 of the mimics and brought the other 2 down within striking distance, so...
Yeah.
Blew him
Yeah.
away.
Gutsy move.